Rockie Lynne.
Tim,
How you doing, sir?
I'm having a nice day, young man. How about you?
Doing well. I appreciate your time. Really looking forward to the conversation.
Congratulations on your show and your
Oh,
video and
you're
your
very
in your
kind.
new station. I thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Anytime. I watched the documentary last night. It was fire. Wow. I'll be honest with you. You can play, sir. You're a humble man. You continue to an enigma, sir. You are something else. My
That
gosh.
is the misconception of the whole movie is that people are seeing it and saying that I think I can play guitar. I don't. I'm a student of the guitar. It's what I want to do is learn how to play guitar.
Well, there's very few students that know more than you, sir. And I'll be honest with you. It's
Well,
my goodness.
thank you for saying that. I disagree, but I agree.
Well, I'm looking for. I'm going to try not to give too many spoilers about the documentary. We want people to go see it, so I'm going to try not to just tell people the entire movie. I'm going to do my best. So,
Yesterday I did an interview with the producer JC Summerford, who
yes,
is
sir.
just a diamond of a human being. She's a wonderful soul, and every time I would go to tell a story from the movie, she would go, "No, don't tell them, make them wait and see." I was like, "Well, what am I supposed to say if you won't let me talk about it?" You know.
Yeah, this might be a dangerous combination then for the day because I won't hold back either. But I'll do my best. I'll
We
do
can
my
talk
best.
about it, and we don't have JC here. The only thing we have today is Sissy. This is Sissy.
Oh, hi, sissy. Nice to meet you.
Sissy is wondering when breakfast is coming. She's like, I normally eat about now.
It's about
So
that
what's
time.
happening?
Yeah. How long we got, Bill?
Yeah, it's got about 30, a little over 30 seconds.
Okay, and that's Bill, the producer here, so you should be able to hear him. That's not going over air, just heads up. So you should be able to hear him.
I can hear you. Is this from your home or is this a different studio
This is
in
the
Cornelius?
the Cornelius studio, so different studio. Yes, sir.
Wow, congrats. That's cool, man.
Thank you. Yeah, multi-location. We're multimedia, the whole concept. So we're trying to figure it out. We're making it up as we go, Rocky. So it's.
You're doing great, brother.
No, you're the man, and we're actually on the video stream right now. Oh yeah, look, I got this in the lobby too. This stays here in the lobby right here. This is it right here, brother.
It's vinyl, man. That's
I know.
cool.
Well, I can't. I don't even feel like I should open it, right? Like it's like
You
a
should
like
totally
like
open it and
like the
play it.
Beanie Baby phase, like the record phase. Like I need to leave this thing and preserve it for my children, man. No way. Ben already opened his though. He was jamming to it. He already opened his. I said nope. Keep in mind in the wrapper. Keep in mind in the wrapper. That's where it stays. How long we got, Bill?
I think about 10 seconds. Sorry, it's one of those.
No, you're good. All right, Rocky, we're coming back.
Okay, brother.
Can you give me a Simeon?
Good morning, LKN with Justin Kazepis on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Good morning, LKN. Justin Kazepis. It's about 7:35 already. If you're cruising your way on into work, and maybe you're an 8 to 4. Is 8 to 4 more appropriate these days than a 9 to 5er? I think it's probably a little bit more common. What
I
do you think?
wish.
Okay. All right. Calm it down over there. All right. All right. We've got Rockie Lynne joining us now. Rocky, I don't even really have a great intro question for you. I try to think, okay, what's a good way we can get the ball rolling? You are so ingrained in the local community, though. Way more people know who you are than me. So what do you want to talk about? Like, what are we even doing here today? I'm trying to figure all that out. I'm just in awe of you, sir.
Well, I like the idea of being an 8 to 4 guy as opposed to a 9 to 5 guy. You get done an hour earlier. That's a good idea, right?
Do you have normal hours? Like, is that part of your daily routine, or is it just kind of sporadic?
Because of the odd sort of life that I live, I don't have a watch. I don't know usually what day it is or what month it is, but once a month my wife has me sign checks, and that's the day that I know it's the end of the month. But other than that, I don't really know what day it is.
You have a documentary out, Where I Belong. It airs at the Full Bloom Film Fest this week, Friday and Saturday. I had a chance to watch it last night. So I'll say thank you to Sue for letting me do that. I appreciate it. I'm going to try not to give a bunch of spoilers away, but there's one concept in the movie I'm a little disappointed you didn't really address, unless I missed it. And it's so true to you. The first time I met you, sir, you were not wearing shoes. And I said to myself, wait a second, this guy is just rocking socks right now. This is for real. But then in the documentary last night, two particular scenes of you jamming on stage. And when I mean jamming, I mean, wow. Eddie Van Halen, right, is who? And that's almost what I was thinking last night as I'm watching the documentary. But in one scene, you have socks on. In another scene on stage, you don't even have socks on. You literally are barefoot, just jamming. But you didn't tell me why that is. I felt like that was one piece. What is it in your life that when you decided one day, I'm not going to wear shoes?
Well, it's interesting that you noticed that. And the place in the movie where I have the socks on, I was supposed to have the socks off because for the last 20 or 25 years or so, I haven't worn shoes when I play on stage. And it's a really sort of odd story. Would you care to hear it?
I would love to hear it, sir.
So I played with this amazing, wonderful lady. I was just filling in. Her name was Tammy Wynette, and she was the queen of country music and just a beautiful, beautiful soul. And we went to Australia to do a small tour. And our fiddle player was a guy named Gary Olear. And on the first, I guess in Australia, I didn't know this and I didn't go, but I heard that in Australia, they have a lot of nude beaches. And so apparently, Gary, our fiddle player, went to the nude beach in Australia and he broke his arm. He fell down and broke his arm and he was in the hospital. And so Tammy's husband, who was our manager, came up and asked if I could play all the fiddle parts. And I said, of course, I'll be happy to play the parts. And he said, well, I'll get Gary's fiddle. And I said, well, I don't know how to play fiddle. I play them on guitar. So I'll play it on guitar. And I think he got a little upset because I couldn't play the fiddle. And on the bus between when we left Sydney to the next gig, my boots disappeared by my bunk. And so I had to play the next show with no shoes on, and I could feel the drummer. Like I felt the beat and the whole groove just came to me a little better. And they were just playing a joke on me. It was not mean spirited at all. But I decided that after that, I like that feel. So that's why I don't wear shoes.
Wow. Now, did you also learn how to play the fiddle after that, or no? Never picked up the fiddle.
You know, I have a great fiddle player in my band, and he lets me hold his fiddle every now and again. And every time I play it, it sounds awful. I can't play it at all. I wish I could. I can't even really make it make a sound.
I would, okay, again, this, and Bill, this is where I get thrown off because he's literally one of the most humble dudes I've ever met in my life. Rocky, you got to stop with the act on the humbleness, brother. Come on, dude. You're a jam session legend. And yet when I talk to you, it's just smiles and you ask me how I'm doing. Dude, how are you doing, man? You've got a movie out this week. How you feeling right now? How's it feel?
It's an honor. You know, I'm stunned, one, that the movie is getting received as well as it is, and that people actually like it. I think it's I hope that it's a story of encouragement to anybody that ever felt like they might have started from a tough place or something and has a dream and wants to move forward with their life. But we're hoping to say something that'll encourage people and make people uh, go for that goal that they've been going for their whole life.
And so you growing up as originally as an, and I don't want to say necessarily as an, oh, hey, Jason Drum of Drum Landscape Supply, how you doing?
Hey,
Thanks for
good
stopping by.
morning.
Hey, go ahead and drop
I'm a
off
big
for me.
fan of Jason Drum, man.
Yeah,
I
there
love
you go.
him.
So I
He's
got
a great-
Rocky Lynne here.
We got about 10 seconds to
There you go.
commercial.
All right. So Jason Drum dropping in there too, real quick to say, hey. So you grow up as an orphan, and yet you get to meet your biological dad. What was that moment like that you found out that he was alive, and what shifted in your being in that moment? Can you recall?
I absolutely. Justin, it became the moment that I was from somewhere. Because up to that point, I'd never really, uh, as far as we have three children. We have two daughters and a son, and our roots were just us. And I used to say to Susan all the time, I would say, we need to try to do the best that we can, because when our kids look back, this is as far as they're going. So whatever we do is going to be the foundation with which they build their life. And then when we did this film, and I met my father and ultimately learned about my mother as well, I went from having no roots to having really big, deep roots. And now when there's a Thanksgiving dinner, we get invited to this family where there are brothers and sisters and nieces and nephew and this whole enclave of human beings that are part of my genetic uh, ladder, if you will. So it to me changes the whole dynamic of 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 our foundations of our life.
You had told me previously when we, because we just met in March, maybe April, we had just met, and you've been so kind and just willing. You let me sit down on your couch in your recording studio, and you were willing to tell me your story, and it was just phenomenal. And then in the documentary to see also, you met your brother on, like, related to your mom. Like that,
Yes.
like what? Like you talk about bam, 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 bam. Like, so what was that moment like then after then being introduced to your dad's side of the family?
Well, my dad's side of the family was half the story, and it was wonderful. And then my mother was a quite a quandary for me because I'd always had been told or been led to believe that she was the one who had abandoned me and left me at the orphanage, in a basket in the middle of the night. And then to find out the actual truth of what happened and her just heartbreaking story. If you learn the whole story that my mom went through, and then she had another child 12 years after me, and he and I are now, well, we're brothers obviously, but we're also really really great friends. He's a wonderfully creative, intelligent human being that I love with all my heart, and I'm so happy to be in his life.
What's it like now being in Statesville? You've had this journey. You've toured the world. You've hung out with, written songs for, produced with some of the most known artists in the entire world. And yet you still have this drive about you and this clear gift from God to play and to teach and to be involved in the process. So what's the future for Rocky Lynn, at least in your mind?
Well, I want to, as long as I can do what I'm doing, I always want to do that. And I love being in Statesville. I love being back here. It's interesting because I left the day after I graduated high school to go into the United States Army. And then, and I was gone for decades. I lived in LA and then in the Nashville for many years in Minnesota, and we toured and played. But I love being home. We came home here to care for my adopted father, who his health is failing, and it's a joy to be able to care for someone in their twilight years like that. But also just to be home. We just had my 40th high school reunion, and I got to see all my friends from back when we were just children. And it's interesting how we've all grown and all the wonderful things that have happened and tragic things in some instances. But I love Statesville, North Carolina. I love this town. I love this community, and I couldn't imagine myself being or living anywhere else.
All right, radio fam, we're going to take a break. We are going to stick with Rocky on digital. So if you're on WSICnews.com, if you're on any of the social platforms, we do have Rocky Lynne on video. We got a call from Jeff at ICAT, says there's some major traffic going on 77 South at Mooresville. You're going to want to take an alternative route. Thank you. RideICATS.com, alternative transportation option in your community if you're looking for something different besides sitting in traffic. Because when you ride ICATS, you get to cruise in that toll lane all the way down. Gonna get a little personal with Rocky Lynne here on the digital side. Not that I don't know what else there is to share as personal as he's willing to be. I'm gonna just find out what he likes to eat, because this dude's got to eat something. He's got to drink something. He's got to do something besides be awesome all the time. And we're gonna find out what it is that makes Rocky tick. Coming right back. Good morning, fam. All right, we're still on digital, Rocky. So what's your favorite food spot in Statesville then, man? You know it more than anybody. What's your favorite food spot?
JB's hot dogs, man.
JB's.
JB's hot. John Baker and I have been friends since we were children. My first job was pumping gas at his father's gas station, Baker's Fill Station on 64, which is now a Sitco. But he makes the absolute best hot dog in the whole world, and he is a gem of a human being. So if it most people listening probably go there for lunch anyway, but if you haven't been to JB's in a while, go check him out.
You throw back a foot long when you go there, or what? Like what? Or a regular hot dog? What kind of dog you throw back?
I get the ballpark Frank, which is not a foot long. It's just the regular size hot dog, but it's I don't really know what it is. It's the way he combines the chili and the slaw. It's different. It's a little sweeter, I think, than some of the other Carolina kind of versions they have around here. But he's put a lot of thought into it, and when his dad retired and they sold that gas station, he opened up that hot dog stand, and it was literally a walk-up stand. It was like the size of a utility room or a closet, and you would walk up and get a hot dog. And he's grown it from that to the business he has now.
What's it like for Sue here in Statesville? Because Sue's not from Statesville, right? Like she's not from here. So what's it been like for her through this process? And I mean, she's a corporate executive in the background, done big things too. And then you guys, eyes lock, glaze, love at first sight, right? You guys meet, and so now living together in Statesville, give us the insight on how Sue's doing these days.
Well, Susan is from Brooklyn, so she told me when we came here the first time to care for my dad, she said until she went to Mooresville, she wasn't sure that she could live here.
Well,
Oh
she's
my God.
here. She's here and she's stayed.
And now she's fallen in love with it as well. But she had to find a Bed Bath and Beyond and a TJ and a Home Goods, or she wasn't. She was out. She was out of the story.
Basic necessities. Look, we all have our needs and we all have our wants and desires, so can't blame her for that. What's it like for you two working together still now for so many years? What's that process been like? I love my wife very much. She's a kindergarten teacher, but we made a pact with each other, just business wise, we won't work together. We just know it won't work. We've accepted it, but it works for you and Sue. What's it like?
I guess I would, if I had to give a sports analogy to her working with me, I would say that I outpunted my kick coverage. She's way smarter than me. She's had 10,000 times more success
About
than
30
I'll ever
seconds.
have. And she's a wonderful soul that understands art and understands what I'm trying to do. And for some crazy unknown reason, actually cares that the things that I think are important to her as well. I mean, I know our charity. I see her spend more
10
hours
seconds.
on our charity trying to help these veterans and these Gold Star families than she spends on her own self and her own time. And
Let's
so I feel
rejoin with
very
radio
old.
real quick, Rock.
Okay.
Good morning, LKN. Justin Kazepis, Bills on the Sticks. We've got Rockie Lynne on video chat with us this morning. Where I Belong, his new video documentary, a Full Bloom Film Festival, Friday and Saturday, your chance to see a screening of it, Full Bloom Film Fest. So if you go to fullbloomfilmfestival.org, you can see the whole schedule. Again, Friday and Saturday, 2 airings. Do you have like a bunch of prep left, Rocky? Or are you in like you can go and just relax and sit in the theater and enjoy the show at this point? What's left for the week for you?
I'm just gonna go and hang out with everybody and see what they think. I'm interested to see what people think about it, especially because it's our hometown and a lot of the movie has a lot of Statesville centric sort of things about it, and our North Carolina centric things as well. So it's going to be fun to see all the folks around here react to it.
Tell the truth, because the dude playing the guitar in the movie is pretty darn good. Is that really you, or is that a dub over like somebody else playing whenever it's you with your fingers on the guitar throughout the documentary?
The thing I'm most proud of about the whole movie, not me, but in general, is that every time you see the band playing, it's live. There's no Memorex on that movie at all. When we're playing on the stage there, or I mean, when they show the videos that were like on Universal and that stuff, that's not us playing live. That's a music video. But when you see the band in the movie and we're playing, it's 100% live. There's no tape. There's no fixing. There's no auto tune. It's just, and that's the same with our album, the album that you held up earlier. It's an old school sort of art that it sadly is kind of dying in today's world because musicians and stuff are now being replaced by computers and AI and auto tune and whatever. But we're an old school kind of group, and in the movie, that's us playing live.
You also have artists that you're teaching. You've worked with Danny Carr now for how many years?
Danny and I have been writing songs and working together for almost 4 years. And it's been such a joy to watch her growth. And it's a misconception that I'm mentoring her and helping her and showing her. Danny Carr is completely formed. She knew exactly the first day that I met her who she was, and what she wanted to do. And my role in this journey with Danny is to maybe take some of the decades that I've been out there in the trenches and help her avoid some of the potholes and things that get in the way and hurt people. Because unless in the reality of the music world is this: if you come from places like Danny and I came from, which are kind of humble beginnings, then you have to dig it out of the dirt. You got to get down, you got to work hard, and you have to make it happen. Unless your dad, owns Oscar Mayer, or you're somebody famous, you got to dig it out of the dirt. And she's willing to do that. She's completely formed. She has a beautiful voice, one for a generation, and I'm proud to be helping her. But I'm not teaching her anything. She's probably teaching me stuff.
I look forward to being able to speak with her and get her perspective on that. Again, your humbleness is quite impressive. Eli Yacinth is also in the documentary. We had a chance to chat with Eli before his farewell show there in Statesville before he goes back to school. And then who's the rapper? So I was trying to tell Bill this morning. I couldn't remember the artist you've got who's the rapper as well that's in the documentary. What's his name?
His name is D.K. Swank, I think. DB Wank. It's Susan's speaking from the other room because she's smarter than me, but he's changed his name a couple times. But let me tell you about this kid, man. I met him at WSIC. He had started there at Statesville Senior High School, and they gave him a computer to use in school. And he had taken the laptop that they'd given, and he made all these beats. And he came and he played the beats for me and sang over the beats. And so I invited him to intern with me for the summer and spend time just hanging out with him. And at the end of the summer, this is several years ago before he decided to really dig into his music. And I asked him, I said, did you decide that maybe what you want to do in your life? And he said, no, but being with you has helped me decide for sure all the things that I want to try to work toward. And he felt like his summer with us had made an impact on his life. And he's a great young man. And I look forward to seeing where his career goes as well.
You're listening to Good Morning LKN. We've got Rockie Lynne on video chat with us, WSICnews.com, all the social platforms. Where I Belong, the video documentary. It's airing at the Full Bloom Film Festival, fullbloomfilmfestival.org, Friday and Saturday. Get your tickets now. I watched the documentary last night. Outstanding. Rockie, now that you're working with multiple artists under your label, and you're teaching me too about how the business side works, so forgive me if I'm using the wrong terminology. But what's it like working with multiple artists in multiple genres? That's also seems unique okay, you've got a country music, rock and roll background, but it's got to be just a passion for music, or how are you able to work with multiple genres?
I think that music is just a way of communicating. And so whether your communication tool is rock and roll or country or techno music or rap or whatever, I call it a universal standard of truth. I mean, if you're in a studio and you're mixing a drum set, whether the drummer is playing rock music or rap music, it still has to have a certain set of parameters that it goes within. And then you just try to get that artist that is making their statement to get their opinions out there and their communication to a point where it is understandable by other people. I try to stay out of the way more than get in the way, if that makes any sense.
You give a lot of your time, and time to me is the great equalizer. We all have the same 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter what we're born into, how we die. It's all the same for everybody, 24 hours a day. What we choose to do with it is what matters. You choose to give a lot of your time to veterans. You obviously went off. Was it the 82nd Airborne or 86th? Forgive me on that for your time spent in the.
It was the 82nd.
82nd Airborne, and so you ride a hog too. Like you ride a hog. You strap the guitar on your back when you ride. Like, does that part come with the gig or what?
I don't have to do that anymore, but I have in the past. Now somebody will usually bring it for me.
What's it been like working with veterans across the entire country for so many years?
Well, we just had the 20th annual Tribute to the Troops motorcycle ride in Minnesota. I was just there last week. And over the last 20 years, I think we have visited 330 families whose husbands, wives, sons, and daughter have lost their life post 9/11 in service of our country. We visit not only people who die in combat and in action, but also people who die just when they were in service, or if they lose their battle with post-traumatic stress or something like that. And we've been fortunate enough with great people like yourself letting people know about our charity Tribute to the Troops, have been able to send 123 children to college whose parents have been killed in the war. And then we're just regular blue collar hardworking folks, and we've done something that I think has helped make a difference in a lot of folks' lives, because what we really do is we say that their loss doesn't go forgotten, because ultimately, Justin, every day is Memorial Day at a Gold Star mother's house. She doesn't get up any day and not think about her son or her daughter. And then we try to say that the rest of the country cares too. And that we know that our freedoms are contingent on the lives of these very people that have given everything so that we could be free. And we just try to acknowledge that.
How do you balance all the different things you're doing each day, each week, each month? Like you wear a lot of hats. Well, what's that like doing all of it?
Susan gives me a list in the morning. She gives me a piece of paper and tells me what I'm going to do that day and how I'm going to do it. I haven't got my list for the day yet, so I'm just having coffee thinking I don't have anything to do. I'm thinking I'm just going to hang out on the couch, maybe watch some Marvel movies or something, but there's a list coming. I can feel it. It's in the kitchen being written right now.
I apologize. I must have interrupted your morning of Marvel. So you're a Marvel guy more than DC?
Well, my daughter's a Marvel. She likes the Marvel movies, so we're in the middle of watching those.
Okay, not a bad. I'm not gonna hate. I am a DC guy more than Marvel, but it's okay. We can still be friends.
Well, when we're done with the Marvels, then I'll look at the DC movies. I'm not sure of the different ones.
Oh my gosh, this guy's see again, just the humbleness that continues to come from this guy. It's amazing, Bill. All right, Rocky. So you've got the documentary coming out. You're working with artists. You're doing a lot of things. Yet you remember your roots, and you don't ever give that up, which is again a humble perspective. What's the advice that you would give to somebody who's thinking about starting a career, whether music or not, like just to keep going in life? Like you're the Energizer Bunny, man. Give somebody some advice on what does it mean to keep going and to have hope.
I think that if you have something inside you that you want to do, and whether that's be a carpenter or a plumber or have a rickshaw business in Shanghai, you should go for it. Be your own self, do your own thing. Don't try to follow anybody else's blueprint. You know, that's why all the artists you see that I work with, they're all original artists. They play their own music, they write their own songs. Every single VFW in the country has some cover band with a 40-some-year-old guy in it that says, "I wonder what would have happened if I would have tried." And the only thing I give myself a little bit of credit for is that I
40
don't
seconds.
ever look back and go, "I wish I'd tried that," because I did.
How many songs would you say you've written over the past your whole career?
Well, thanks to Sharon Clark, who administers my publishing company and helps me get cuts. And we just got a Ricky Skaggs cut. I'm not bragging, but Ricky Skaggs' new single I wrote, which I'm super happy about. I think we're right at 4,000 songs now.
4,000 songs. You can see a few of those this week. The Full Bloom Film Festival coming up. FullBloomFilmFestival.org. Rocky Lynne's documentary, Where I Belong. And I got cut off by the hard break.
The new
And there it is. Appreciate you, Rocky. You're the man, brother.
Thank you, man.
I'll see you soon. You as well.
You're great, by the way.
No,
You're
I
doing a
appreciate
great
you.
job.
You're too kind. Thank you, sir. I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Bye.